Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me first associate myself with remarks of my colleague, Senator Coons. He was very eloquent, and as you can tell, he's very passionate about this issue. He and many others, including Senator Hatch, have worked hard on this subject. Chris's comments kind of brought a tear to my eye, but it's not the tears of a clown. That would be Senator Tillis, who you haven't met yet, who doesn't know his way to Santa Fe, I can assure you. You know, a smart person once said that art makes us more humane. It helps us find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. And you can't be a civilized society if you don't appreciate and protect art and artists. The system that we have now, both the public and the private system, looks like something I tried to draw with my left hand. I mean, it just makes no sense. Now, this, as you know, this bill is the amalgamation of three bills, the Classics Act, which we've talked about, the AMP Act, and the Music Modernization Act. It's not perfect, as some of you pointed out, but it helps all artists. It helps singers, songwriters, engineers, producers. I think it helps the digital music industry because our world has changed, and the world of music that we love so much has changed as well. Mr. Glazer, let me ask you a question. What digital music companies right now are paying pre-1972 artists, if you will?
There are actually thousands of digital music services that, unlike some of the few...
What are some of the main ones?
That are paying pre-72 artists? Right now, iHeart and Pandora, who were subject to litigation originally, came to the table to negotiate this bill as a solution to move the parties together so that they could have business certainty. And so they have pledged to move forward to pay pre-72 artists. Those are the main ones. But there are also thousands of smaller companies who use the federal license and who have said, we know that there was no intent here to find a gap. There are a couple big ones who had a couple very clever lawyers who brought us to this place today.
Now, who are they?
SiriusXM is the major one.
They did not pay pre-1972 artists.
They did not pay pre-1972.
They chose to litigate instead.
They chose to litigate instead.
Who else?
There are Pandora at the time was the other major service who decided not to pay, mainly because their competitor, SiriusXM, didn't pay, and they didn't want to be put at a competitive disadvantage. And so between them, they give a huge, overwhelming percentage of royalties that go to pre-72 artists under the compulsory license, which is why artists had to go to courts in the states to try to protect themselves.
Okay. All right. What are the royalties that are paid right now to post-1972 artists? How is that computed?
The Copyright Royalty Board sets those rates for different types of services. And so internet services that pay under a willing buyer, willing seller standard have to pay a percentage of their revenue. And they report the songs that they play, and then they write a check to Sound Exchange, who's in charge of collecting and then distributing that money, 50% to artists, 50% to owners.
Okay. In my 25 seconds left, I just want to say, Mr. Kerr, I appreciate your testimony. I can tell you have you bring a lot of passion to this subject, and you persevered. And I thank you for that. Thanks. I know it hadn't been easy. I'm going to yield back my 7 seconds, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you.